Hey, how's it going? Yeah, you okay? Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I'm not sure today. I think I'm going to do a tour around the workshop. That'll be interesting. Yeah. I got asked about it. Yeah, it's tidy. No, I don't always tidy it just for the photographs. I'm not a pig. Yeah, okay, well, thanks for that. No, that's what I'm going to do today. Just a nice, simple one. Show people the way the workshop's laid out. Yeah, I think it'll be quite interesting. Yeah. Can I do some step-by-step painting guides next? Yeah, I'll see what I can do. Alright then. You'll phone me next week. Can you leave it for a couple of weeks? No. I'll speak to you next week. Alright then. Yeah, cheers. Bye. Morning everyone, welcome back to the shed. Hope you're well, hope you've had a good weekend. I'm going to do a nice simple video today on the shed. It's going to be just a little walk around to show you how this place is laid out, the things that I've got in here that help me do my day job. Most of you by now will know that I work for ADH Publishing. I'm one of their editors, but also I'm a full-time model maker, so I need a space that I can use day to day, and I need somewhere that I can come into, do the construction work and the painting, and be able to do those in as an efficient way as possible. So what I'll do is I'll show you around here, give you a little guided tour. You'll notice within this video that the sections are split into two. I've got a construction area here, and I've also got a painting area that's behind the camera. These allow me to keep them dust free and tidy, and means that I don't have to keep on moving paint and moving parts around. I can keep them nice and separate. One of the other things that you'll notice when you see around here is that I keep this place really tidy. That's a really important part of this. I see a lot of photographs online. I see a lot of pictures, people showing off their man caves and their workbenches and everything, and in a lot of cases they're really untidy, and that untidiness leads me to believe they're probably quite dirty as well. And what I mean by that is that if you've got lots of clutter around you all the time, you've probably got a lot of dust as well, and the one thing that's likely to kill the finish on a model is dust. If you're an airbrusher, then you have any kind of dust around you, any kind of dust on the bench, and you start airbrushing parts, it's obviously going to blow all of that dust up into the air. Where's that dust going to go? It's going to settle back down on the model. So I keep everything really clean. These workbenches are spotlessly clean. The painting bench is exactly the same. The work surfaces I try and keep as dust free as possible. So at the end of every single project, I come back in here, I put everything away, and I hoover everything, and I polish all of the surfaces to make sure that it's all clean, ready for the next one to start. We've sort of joked over the last couple of weeks about having paint racks on the bench. We're not really going to go down that road anymore. I think we've exhausted that. You'll notice that there aren't any paint racks or anything like that around me. The reason for that is once again to try and keep the dust and the clutter down as much as possible. If I have those kind of things in, they get in the way. But also, if I have those things in front of me all the time, I find them distracting. I have some things you'll see behind me here. I have a little desk tidy that's got some brushes in and paints. I'll show you that in more detail later. But you'll see that that's really the only thing that's on my desk. Everything else is in drawers that are behind me, to the side of me, and they stay in those drawers. I only bring them out when I'm using them. When I finish with them, I put them back. So I hope you enjoy this little guided tour. It's not going to be very long, and will be fairly self-explanatory, but it might give you a good idea of how I approach the layout of this workshop. It was partly constrained by size. This is a 12 foot by 8 foot wooden shed that's fully insulated, but what I've tried to do is make it as methodical as possible and try to make it as ergonomic as possible, so that I can come in here and work and I know where everything is and I don't have to struggle around. When I'm turned around here, I can reach everything that's around me, and I don't have to stretch too far. The same thing with the painting benches. The only difference being over there is that I do have to come over here to get paint, but that's a compromise I'm prepared to have, so that I don't have all of the paint stacked up behind me over there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you like to see where I work, and as usual, if you have any questions, you can contact me through my blog. If you follow the blog, you can see on there, I'll try and put some photos up later, I think, of this as well, just so that you can see it in a little bit more detail. Please follow that, and if you like what you see on here, subscribe to the channel and you'll get to see everything that I do, including at the end of the week, this week's news desk. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you again next time. The first thing that you come across is my spray booth. This is where all of the airbrushing is done. As you can see, it's looking somewhat worse for wear now, as you would expect from somewhere that involves a great deal of painting, but this is a really important space for me. You can see that the booth is on the left hand side, and then to the right of it is an open space, and you can also see that this open space has got nothing on it, it's clutter free. This is where I would do all of the detail painting. It's also where I take a load of the photographs as well, although the photo cards are not there at the moment. You can see above the spray booth that there's an angle poised lamp, and you can also see on the corner of the desk that there's a bracket for another one. That allows me to have different lamps here for photography purposes. And on top of the spray booth is the single most important thing in the entire workshop, and that's my digital radio. I listen to 6 music during the day. I have music on from 9 to 5 and way beyond often. I can't work in silence, so that's on all the time. Down in the bottom of the booth is where I keep the various thinners that I use. Down there you'll see that there's some Tamiya X20 and some of Gun Sanyo's levelling and standard thinners. Also a cleaning product that Gun Sanyo make as well, which I use to clean out the airbrushes. So that's the spray booth. Moving along, you can see there's a sofa in here that I put in. It allows me to sort of be able to sit down and do some reading and research. Part of my library's in here. You can see it on the shelves. You can also see it down here as well. There's part of my library down here. The rest of the books are in the house. I don't keep everything in here. So moving back across, this is my standard workbench. This is where I do all of the construction work for every project that I do. As we go towards the corner, you'll see that there's a desk tidy here, and in that desk tidy there are some glues, super glues, standard liquid glues that I use. You can see there's some Mr. Cement S in there, there's some Deluxe, some Tamiya extra thin, plus super glues and accelerators. Those are what I use day to day. In here is a small box. This has got my normal tools inside, cutters, scalpels, that kind of thing, and you'll also see some cocktail sticks. As we turn around, you'll see on the wall that there's a magnetic strip. I've had this magnetic strip since I was about 14. I first saw one of these in Francois Verlinden's books and knew that I had to have one. So this is my oldest tool, I guess. I've had this for years and years and years. But it keeps everything on there. All of the tweezers, the magnetic tweezers fit on there, and I specify that because I have non-magnetic tweezers as well that I use for other purposes. And as we come back, you'll see as well that there's another angle poised lamp here. That's the one that I use over the desk. This is the one that can be moved across to the painting bench when I need it. Moving down from my stock of glues and resins on the top of this cupboard, you can see this long set of drawers. I've often been asked about this little unit. It was bought from IKEA, I guess almost 20 years ago now, and this is where I keep all of the paints that I use. Everything is kind of out of the way. The drawers themselves are separated into kind of brands and sections. These are Humbrol enamels with extra colour in there as well. I've kind of separated these loosely into greys and also greens. And then as we move down, I've got in here, this is my stock of glues and also deckling products. You can see the glues are on this side here, deckling products are on here. There's also, this is where I keep Mr. Surfacer and that kind of thing. As we move down, you'll see in here, these are filters and pigments. I use these kind of less and less now actually. Mainly because I don't build a lot of armour these days, so they don't get used very often, but I keep them anyway, so so that if I do need them in the future, they're to hand. And then as we move down, we have Vallejo paints in there, plus some Gunsanyo metallics, and then we kind of keep moving down and we have Tamiya and Gunsanyo kind of primary colours, and then we keep going, browns, and what's in there, greens. You can see it's a kind of a loose mishmash of colours, but they're out of the way and they're out of my eye line, and that's kind of what I'm sort of happy about really. So as we kind of move back, we move from this side down to here, and you can see here that there's another set of drawers. These carry, if I can get this one open, these carry heavy tools, and then abrasives are all in there, and then if I move my phone out of the way, in this bottom drawer here, these are all of the masking tapes that I use. As you can see, once again, it's kind of kept nice and tidy, everything's out of the way. And then below that I have a larger set of drawers, and once again these are used to store items that I use. There are drill bits in here, cotton buds, there's some airbrushes in there, plus all of the other bits and pieces. I buy scalpels in large boxes, so in here I've got my kind of year's supply of 10s and also 10A blades. I buy those at the national championships. They tend to last me about a year, so those are kept out of harm's way in here. And then as we kind of move down once again, in here we've got some other finishing products. You'll see all of the oil paints are kept in here, a load of Adam Wilder's weathering products are in here, another couple of airbrushes. One thing that you might kind of find amusing is if we go up to here and scan along this shelf, you'll see some of the models that some of you may well be familiar with that are kind of piled up. And then as we go up on top of here, you'll see a really terrible scene. There's my my T80, I guess, I don't know, up there. I really should get a handle on these Russian vehicles. And by the side of it, this thing here, some of you may recognise this. This is Francois Verlinden's M1 Abrams that I've put up here. I'll leave you to make your own mind up as to what I should do with that. And then down here, this is another of Francois Verlinden's models. Once again, these are waiting restoration. And my Mexus that formed part of my book, they're kind of gathering dust at the moment and they need something doing with them. Still, I'm sure I'll get. And finally, here's my minion that helps me out during the day. All good. So there you go. A quick insight into my workshop and the way that it's laid out. I hope you've enjoyed the tour, and that if you're looking to build something of your own like this, that you take the time maybe to to see what I've done in here and use some of the ideas. I hope this has been really useful, and I'd like to say I hope I see you again very soon. Cheers and take care.